Guided Reading Research Project by Wesley Guy. Introduction. The purpose of my study is to determine how does the use of guided reading in the middle school classroom affect students' reading abilities. I used a range of 20 students from my 5th period class at Ockley Green Middle School to conduct this research inquiry. My methods of triangulation to access my research will be based through SurveyMonkey web application, a pre-post test assessment, and student interviews. Rationale and significance. My personal experience with guided reading comes from my freshman year in high school, when my instructors used a guided reading lesson in order to allow students to work with small groups that were currently at similar levels in terms of literacy development. This experience was meaningful because my instructor provided scaffolded instruction support through graphic organizers and sentence starters in order to reestablish and teach reading strategies that increase agency within my literacy experience along with independence. I desire to create a similar learning experience that fosters to meet students where they're at on the literacy standard spectrum, while allowing them to explore their interests within a text that offers a variety of voices from diverse communities. Research question. How does a guided reading exercise impact students' relationships with reading and comprehension text? There's a typo there, but I caught it, and we're going to keep moving on. Description of a data collection. Method 1. My method 1 was a questionnaire with 4 questions. My method 2 was a post-test assessment. My method 3 was based on NWEA test scores. Data method number 1. I just realized I wasn't presenting during this. Let me present and share my screen. Bear with me. Thank you very much. Data collection method number 1. Step 1. I read all the responses from my guided reading questionnaires, focusing primarily on question number 4 as my central focus for data compilation. Question number 4. Would you recommend guided reading to other 6th grade students? If yes or no, please explain why. For step number 2 was to record a variation of student answers to question number 4. Step 3, statistical data using a survey compiled from guided reading questionnaire that was administered. I divided recommended and non-recommended neutral data up into statistics, and I use these statistics to compose the pie chart. So step 4, survey engagement, survey statistical data analysis and graphs. The red portion of the pie chart represents the 45% of students surveyed by guided reading questionnaire, and they stated that they would recommend guided reading to other 6th grade peers. The blue portion of the pie chart represents 25% of students surveyed by the guided reading questionnaire, stated that they would recommend guided reading to 6th grade peers. They would not recommend. My apologies. That's the blue proportion. The yellow portion of the pie chart represents 30% of students surveyed by guided reading questionnaire that stated they were indifferent, so it didn't matter in recommending guided reading to other 6th grade peers. Step 4. This is the graph, so you can refer to step 3 and step 4. I'll attach the slides in the email. Data collection method number 1 continued. So step 5. Theories and implications on guided reading's positive impact. My primary implication from this study is that guided reading is structured with the ultimate goal being to help students become independent, skillful readers. The purpose of guided reading can be described as the following. Guided reading provides an opportunity for teachers to support small groups of children through literacy acquisition. My implications are that guided reading is paired with the same developmental reading stages, that these children comply these strategies together to overcome the challenges in the text and eventually read it independently with success. So step 6 was my triangulation. The primary correlation between method 1